fourth time back at the JP McManus Pro.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Can you just tell us how excited you are to be back here at Adair Manor after a 12-year wait?
Well, it's been a very, obviously, as you said, it's been over a decade since we've been back, and it's pretty easy to see the changes they've made, the improvements they've made, JP's commitment to golf, and bringing a Ryder Cup to Ireland again, and they've done that. The people have all shown up to support this event, same as the pros. We know how much JP means to the game of golf and what he's done for our sport. And anytime we can help out in any which way we possibly can, we do. This is one of the ways in we can pay tribute to JP and what he has done. I know he hates limelight, hates getting in front of cameras and all that, but we'll go ahead and do that for him and make sure that everyone understands how important he is as an individual to our sport.
Thank you very much, Tiger. We're going to go straight to some questions. If you can raise your hand, please. Paddy, if you can take them. Oh, we're going to go to Rex first.
Thank you. Tiger,
Yeah.
how have you progressed both physically and game-wise since the PGA?
Well, I've gotten a lot stronger since the PGA, that's for sure. I've been able to put in a lot more reps, which has been great. I still prefer riding in a cart. I'm doing that here only just because I just don't need to push it right now. I've got a long week ahead of me and all of next week to do that. So save the legs. We can still train as hard as we do and each and every day. But as far as just the duration on my feet, let's just try and keep that to a minimum until we have to. And then when we have to, let's go.
Was the plan after the PGA all along to look ahead to St. Andrews?
No, the plan was play the U.S. Open, but physically I was not able to do that. There's no way physically I could have done that. I had some issues with my leg, and it would have put this tournament in jeopardy, and so there's no reason to do that. This is a pretty historic Open that we're going to be playing. I'm lucky enough to be part of the past champions that have won there and want to play there again, and I don't know when they're ever going to go back while I'm still able to play at a high level, and I want to be able to give it at least one more run at a high level.
Thank you, Rex. We're going to go to Ian Carter just over here on the left.
Tiger, can you just elaborate on what the Open means to you, and in particular, obviously St Andrews with those two great wins there?
Well, I think it goes back to, for me, it's more about history, I think, than anything else. Going back into the 1800s, but also for me personally, knowing Arnold, when Arnold's the one who made the British Open what it is, made it the Open Championship. He came over, qualified, finished second, qualified, finished first, qualified, finished first. If you ever make me qualify, I'm not coming back. So here we are. But just to name, look at the names on that claret jug, and you see you just go right through you go through time. It's like a time warp, and just how they put the names on, and they start at the bottom, then went under the lip, and then they added the bases, and just the little things. And everyone who's won that championship, they know how hard it was. And you look at some of the scores, and even some of the scores, I figured, even with a gutter percher ball, how the hell did they shoot those scores? It's awfully impressive, and to have won the Open Championship, and then for me specifically to have won it at the home of golf is even more special. As Jack says, your career is not complete unless you won an Open Championship at the home of golf, and I feel like he's correct in that regard.
And so when you look at all your many trophies, and obviously the major ones, where do those three claret jugs sit for you on your mantelpiece or trophy cabinet?
Well, I have 4 shelves, and so I've been lucky enough because I have 4 shelves, each one has their own sections, so they have their own row.
Tiger, aesthetically, which hole in this great course for you is the marquee hole?
Well, we're here at Adair. I'd have to say the 18th, just because I think it's pretty funny that is it Robert Finch? Is that his name? Richard Finch? Yeah, fell in the water. I think that's pretty iconic.
Maybe we'll go to Greg Allen next.
Tiger, given where you were in the first round in Augusta, shooting around a 71, and everybody was so excited to see you back on a golf course, let alone be in the top 10 after a first round. From there to here, the hills of Augusta, the hills of Southern Hills, and where you are now, has it all been worth it because of obviously what's coming up in 8 days time?
Yes, it's been worth it. It's been hard. I mean, I've had some very difficult days, and some days in which I just moving off the couch is a hell of a task, and that's just the way it is. As I said, I'm very thankful for all the support I've gotten, my treatment staff, all of my surgeons for repairing this leg and keeping it, and so I have my own 2 legs, which I think it's not only I'm not gonna take it for granted anymore. I know some people do, but people who have come close or who have lost a limb understand what I'm saying, and you have difficult days, but also you have great days, and my great days are not what they used to be, that's for sure. But they're great days in which I can spend with my kids and do things that they can do maybe at a slightly slower pace, but I can still do it with them.
So when we were in Southern Hills and you had to release that statement that you couldn't play in the final round, and everybody was so relieved in this country that you were prioritizing the JP McManus over the US Open, that's the way it seemed like. But clearly your commitment to this event has been stellar since 2000. Why?
It's just JP, as I was alluding to earlier. What JP does for charities, what he does for any charitable organization in the country of Ireland, and sometimes in some places around the world, second to none. He raises a lot of money, and all that money goes out. I mean, he doesn't keep any of it. So it's important for us to be able to come together like this and play in this event, hopefully get some decent weather, and so the fans can enjoy the experience of having the pros out there, watching them hit shots. Not everyone gets an opportunity to see pros up that close, which is different, and I think it's a unique experience. And then on top of that, make the golf course slightly easier so that the amateurs can get around here, because I know they made it a little bit more difficult to have a Ryder Cup. I can see why and how they're able to do that. If they sped this place up, I don't think the amateurs would appreciate that very much.
And Henry just here.
Tiger, Henry McKean from News Talk. Yesterday on the practice, I saw you smiling, and you had a big grin, and everyone was smiling, and just the joy of being here. Mm-hmm. How is that? And we hope to see you for many more years to come. I know we can't put a figure on it, but we want to see you keep going. Can you give us an answer to that?
Well, I've always loved coming to Ireland. I've come here since first time, I think it was in '99 when Marco, who just left here, me, Payne, and Marco were over here, and we were fishing down in Waterville here. We played Ballybunion. Payne made a hole-in-one. We've had some great times, and I've come here on several occasions to not only get over the time zone, but also get used to links golf. Been lucky enough to have either JP or Dermot or Michael, helicopter us around and play different venues, so we get used to playing links golf. It is a different kind of game. I mean, it's played on the ground, and it's totally different. Yardages are generally thrown out the window. Just because you have one 76 doesn't mean it's an automatic 8-iron and throw it up in the air. It's sometimes like that 11th hole at St. Andrews, I've hit as much as 3 with there, and I've hit as short as a little 9-iron in there. So it's it can play very interesting, and I think that's the way the nature of links golf. You have the option of playing it on the ground and rolling it on the ground. But with today's modern game, it'll be interesting to see what the ball does in the wind. The ball doesn't move as much. You don't pay as much of a penalty for hitting the ball in the air as you used to, or even off-center hits. But you still, with that being said, there's 100 guys who all play the same way, so strength of field is deeper.
Okay, we're going to have 2 more questions. We'll go with David next.
Tiger, you were saying you want to make the most of the time you have left as a high-level competitor. I wonder if you've got any idea how long that window might be, and whether going forward, open setups will provide you with the best chance of adding to win more majors?
I mean, no, I don't know. I really don't. You would ask me last year whether I'd play golf again. All my surgeons would have said no. But here I am playing, and I played 2 major championships this year. So whether I will always be able to play golf, and whether it's this leg or someone else's leg, or a false leg, or it's different body pieces that have been replaced or fused, I will always be able to play. Now, if you say play at a championship level, that's just a totally different story, and that window is definitely not as long as I would like it to be.
We're going to finish with Philip.
Tiger, are you planning on staying here for a few days to get ready for links golf, or is that in your plans?
Yeah, I am.
And have you targeted any of the courses?
No, I'm not going to tell you because I don't want everyone coming out and watching us. And so yes, and yes.
But perhaps you could tell me, what is your favorite golf hole on the courses on the Open Rota?
On the Open Rota, well, I think that. Well, first of all, you can't beat 1 in 18 at St. Andrews. I mean, let's just start there. There are a few courses, a few holes at Muirfield I truly enjoy. Obviously, the postage stamp. Maybe I'm sure I'm missing a few others. There's one at Birkdale that's pretty good. It was at the 4th or 5th hole, the long one, Daldig right. That's always a good one. There's some good holes out there that we do get a chance to play as part of the Rota, but nothing as iconic as the 1st and 18th at St. Andrews. And being able to have, for me as a youngster, knowing the short history of the Open Championship, and to watch Arnold play his tee off in his last Open Championship, that was awesome. And I was on my way to the range to warm up, and he was playing that afternoon. He was playing before me, probably about like an hour and a half. And I got a chance to see him and me and Baker Finch tee off, and I forgot the third, but I had to see Arnold just tee off, and that follow through of his is one of a kind. And people were so thankful. I mean, we could hear it. I'm probably at least 7 holes, behind him, and as he's making the turn on the way home after the loop, just to hear the appreciation and the crescendo growing. It was getting louder and louder, even though we're further away. It was getting louder, and that's what makes it so special. And then Jack retiring as well. I got a chance to win, the Opens when Jack retired as well.
Thank you, Philip. Thank